A famous 30s slogan went, "In Hoover we trusted, now we are busted." Hoover lost the 1932 election because of widespread poverty. He was replaced by the Democrat Franklin D. Roosevelt, who promised a New Deal for the American people.
I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Following a landslide victory, Roosevelt faced the massive task of restoring confidence in a shattered economy and ending the Depression. Roosevelt's New Deal was the biggest, most expensive government program in American history. It consisted of both practical and psychological support. Firstly, Roosevelt began broadcasting his fireside chats via the radio to reassure the American people. They were hugely successful, and in his inaugural address, he famously told them, "The only thing we have to fear is fear itself." Roosevelt then set about stabilising the banking system. He declared a bank holiday and then only reopened the banks that were well managed. This gave Americans time to regain their confidence in banks, which was crucial to kickstart the economy. Roosevelt passed acts and started administrations to get America out of the Depression. An act was passed to help farmers reduce production. Reducing supply created more demand, so farmers could charge higher prices. Various administrations helped create fair prices, fair wages and fair working hours, and organised long-term work-building airports, schools and hospitals. There were still 11.3 million people out of work at the start of 1934. Some historians see this as the biggest weakness of the New Deal. Roosevelt faced a lot of criticism at the time, and with the next election approaching, his New Deal began to change direction. Through further acts and administrations, he created more long-term jobs, building schools and hospitals, and provided pensions and insurance for the elderly.
Marvelous.
The Wagner Act tried to improve relations between workers and employers, as there were many violent industrial disputes in 1934. Some historians have said that there were two New Deals. The first aimed to save America, the second aimed to change it.
The New Deal had its critics. Big businesses and Republicans said Roosevelt had wasted money by over-involving the government.
Welcome to this meeting. It's going to be a lengthy one. We've got 1,616 resolutions.
But others said Roosevelt hadn't done enough. Millions of people were still poor. Ordinary people wrote letters of complaint, saying things like, "You're multimillionaires! What do you care for the masses?" But historians still discuss whether the New Deal was a success or failure. Roosevelt restored American confidence in the economy. Millions of people gained work in government projects. By 1937, unemployment was cut from 25% of the population down to 14%. These jobs helped to build things of lasting value, such as schools, roads, and hospitals. Roosevelt rescued the banking system from collapse and saved capitalism. Finally, Roosevelt established a new role for the government. They should intervene to help the neediest. The New Deal was the most costly government program in American history and was accused of wasting money. It failed to beat unemployment, and many of the jobs it created were only temporary. Furthermore, New Deal agencies discriminated against African Americans and immigrants who either got no work or lower wages. Jobs were mostly aimed at men, so relatively few women made progress during the New Deal era.
Are you ready for your breakfast now?
Yes, any time.
Oh, see to it.